Hello, our most valued student. My name is Confident. Welcome to our revision session. And as we are gearing up for the June exams, I thought of bringing you some grade 11 mathematics paper 1. And this paper is just a revision, guys, a quick revision, just to go through some of the things that you need to be aware of as you are preparing for your June exams. I hope you guys you are benefiting from this channel. For you guys who are doing their grade 11, there are quite a lot of videos that I've done, especially on algebra and trigonometry, and I will be adding now more videos and focusing more on grade 11. So you need to tune in, and I will encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so that you are notified every time there is a new video. Just as a disclaimer, I'm doing these videos in a kind of a home environment, and you might hear some noise in the background. Apologies, but I just wanted to bring this to you in your earliest convenience. So let's look at this. This is a paper that was written in 2019 grade 11, and the mark allocation is 100 marks. I hope your paper will also of similar pattern, but a few things here that you need to pick up when you're answering your paper. To say answer all the questions, important. Number the answers correctly according to the numbering system. Don't come with your own numbering. Maintain the numbering. Use an approved scientific calculator. Most of you are using a Casio, which is the most common calculator. So I will encourage you to also maintain that calculator. Don't bring a new calculator into the exam that you're not familiar with. I'm usually using my FX82ES, or you can use a ZA+. This is the Casio that mainly is commonly used when you're doing your calculations. If necessary, round off answers. This is important. You need to round off to 2 decimal places unless stated otherwise. So very, very important. Then this is the other part again. You need to clearly, I need to emphasize, I don't know how I can emphasize point number 6. What does it say? It says you need to clearly, just to underline it with a different marker, says clearly show all calculations, diagrams, if need be, graphs that you have used in determining your answer. So please, your method is important. Don't do some rough work and you don't put your method, or you don't show us how you arrived at the answer. Says answers only will not necessarily be awarded a maximum marks. You see, if you just give us the answers, you leave your working in your rough paper, unfortunately you might be penalized. And then there is question point 8. They're talking about question 4.4. We're going to see that. And then the diagrams are not drawn to scale. Write neatly and legible. Very visible is important. So let's quickly dive this. So look guys, I'm not going to do the whole video of this paper, but I'm going to give a snapshot of this paper and do a few videos under the allocated time. I think I have 30 minutes to bring this to you. So in this allocated time, I want us to look at this paper, just 30 minutes that I have, and then we can or under 30 minutes to see where it will take us. I'll be as slow as possible, because remember, this channel is for the underdogs. If you're not an underdog in mathematics and you feel like I'm slow, there are many different channels that you can actually venture into. But I'm looking for someone who says, I know given enough time and understanding, I can get good marks in mathematics. Just give me the basics and show me how you're going step by step, so that when I'm alone in that exam, I can be able to follow the same steps, but not through looking or through someone else, but from me now, like from yourself, being able to recall the steps, being able now to own your mathematics. You don't want to cram things, you don't want to master things, but you want to be confident in that thing. So let's look at this. We start with question 1.1, solve for x, and this is mainly algebra. So you see you're solving for x, and it says x squared minus 6x is equal to 7. Mainly, there are 2 ways that I encourage students whenever they're approaching this question to say, how do you go about solving that, let me just bring it. Let's minimize this. How many marks is that? 3 marks. So look at this. We are solving a 1.1.1. Okay. So what it's saying? It says x squared minus 6x is equal to 7. This is 3 marks, guys. So in a way, how do you approach this? It's not difficult, but the main thing I want to encourage you guys is whenever you're doing the first question, always rely on your quadratic formula. You'll see why. Now, this is a quadratic equation. How do I know? I look at the highest power. The highest power is 2. So it makes this a quadratic equation. And how do I know that this is an equation? Because there is an equal sign. So if there is an equal sign, it means it is an equation. I have a left-hand side, as you can see, and I have a what? I have a right-hand side. So this is my left-hand side, and this is my right-hand side. So when you've got these, you must know that it is an equation. Now, for me to be able to do this, I need to maintain the general form of a quadratic equation, which says ax squared, start with a, then plus bx plus c is equal to 0. You've seen this. We call this the general form of a quadratic equation. Now, if I look at this, I can see that it doesn't follow the general form. Why? I do have x squared here, and then minus 6x, so far so good. But now, you see, it says equal to 7, which means I need to take then this particular 7 to jump the equal sign to join so that it represents the c. So it was a positive 7, now it becomes a minus 7. This will be equal to 0. Now, what you need to do then is to say, has this matched the general form of a quadratic equation? The answer is yes. I've got x squared, there is the x squared, bx, there is the negative 6, plus c, there is minus 7. But now, where is the a? Since they didn't give me any number, it means by default there is a 1 that is hidden there. Then you are able then to say my a, if you look at this, see that a is equal to 1. What about b? Look at that. Take the signs, don't forget b is equal to negative 6, and then if you include the signs again on c, or plus c, which is just c, is equal to negative 7. From here, you need to code the quadratic equation. Just check if they give you formulas. Unfortunately, in grade 11, you don't have formulas. So you need, I know with grade 11 that you need to know your formulas. So the quadratic equation, unfortunately, it is a must that you need to know it. So let's code it. You can remember it. It says x is equal to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, divide everything by 2a. So this is a quadratic equation. Now, look at a few things that many people make an error. This minus b, the division sign, if I can make it visible, this division sign here, it must start from minus b and end at the end. Don't do the error of saying, this is what some do, they take this division sign and they do that. That is wrong. If you write it like that, and when you start using your calculator, you're going to get answers wrong. So ensure that the division line is overlapping even under b, not below x, no, but under b. Just after the equal sign, you can do that. So let me just do this and say, if you're writing it, you're going to say x is equal to, see how it looks. Don't write like x is equal to minus b on top like that. It's better the way I have written to show that x is equal to this whole thing. Are you with me? From here, it's just small things that students always struggle with, so that to find that they struggle getting the answers here. Look at this. You said your a was 1. So what happens is, wherever there is a, I must put a 1. Where there is a b, I must put the exact b and c. But now put brackets. Let's do that. X is equal to minus, I've got a minus there. Are you with me? So let me do this. Is minus here and then let me have my division sign actually first. So let's say this was my division sign. All right, so x is minus, and then b, I said put brackets and look for the value of b. What is the value of b? It's minus 6. So you put a bracket, you put minus 6. Whatever case, always put a bracket. Plus or minus square root of, what's the square root? B squared, put a bracket so that you can have minus 6. Then you have got squared. Minus 4, then a, put a bracket to put the value of a, which is 1. C, put a bracket to put the value of c, which is negative 7. You're dividing by 2. A, again, put a bracket and put that value of a. So you're going to have two answers here, which is equal to, now that's where now you can rely, again, as I said, you can use your calculator to be solving this. Okay, so let's use the calculator here to say, I'm given, remember it's fraction first, and then it's minus bracket minus 6. See that? Close the bracket. Now it says plus or minus. Let's start with a positive one, and after that we have got a square root of b squared. You say bracket minus 6 squared minus 4. My a, we say it is 1. My c is negative 7 divided by 2. My a is a 1. Is it like that? Then you say equal to give you the first answer. You see, it says x is equal to 7. Now let me get the second one. You come here where there is a plus, delete and put minus. So the first one is x is equal to 7. The other one is x is equal to minus 1. So x is 7 or x is equal to negative 1 in this case. So you have got two values of x. So that is how you solve that. But it is better to quickly test your answer. You got your original here. If you want to test your answer and say, if I know x is equal to, remember x is 7 or x is equal to minus 1. You can take the first one. If you're saying x is 7, here where there is x, you put 7 squared minus 6 times 7. It must give you 7. So that the left hand side balances the right hand side. Then you use the calculator to take to test the first side of that. So let's see what we have. It's 7 squared minus 6 times 7, or bracket. You can put a bracket here and say, here bracket, instead of times, you can put a bracket like that and remove that. Minus 6, 7, I get a 7 on this side. So 7 is equal to 7. Left hand side is equal to right hand side. You can try with the minus 1. It will still give you the same answer. So you understand. That's how you test. It's very important for you to test your answers so that you can be able to get that. So we're done with that. That's 3 marks into your pocket. Now let's look at question 1.1.2 to say you're still solving for x. Don't forget 3x squared minus 2x is equal to 14. Now it says correct to 2 decimal places. Now the moment they say 2 decimal places, it's a must. You're going to use a quadratic formula. By the way, someone will come here and say, was it necessary for you to use a quadratic formula here? I'll say, for my students, always rely on it. There are many ways you could have solved this. For example, a quick one to say x squared minus 6x plus, remember it was minus 7 there, not plus, so it's minus 7 is equal to 0. Some, they will prefer to open these brackets and do that and say I've got x here, say I've got x, and then it's 1 and 7. I've got a 7 there, I've got a 1 there, and then they'll look for numbers now to say if I put the biggest number is negative and the smallest number is positive, like that, then they will work it out to say this is equal to 0, therefore x is equal to 7 or x is equal to minus 1. Brilliant. If you are able to do that, my friend. But listen, I'm looking at someone who says I don't want to make errors. That is more of a trial and error for me. Give me something predictable. Quadratic formula is predictable, so you can apply it there. Let's also apply it here, because when it works first time, you can just flow with the quadratic equation, you know? So look at this question. If I now say we are looking at 1.1.2, and I don't need, okay, let me erase everything here, because I will redo a few things back again so that you can kind of have an idea what it looks like. So what do I have here? Here I'm having 3x squared like this minus 2x is equal to 14. A repetition of what they did, but they said correct 2 decimal places. I told you, take this to the other side where you have got now 3x squared minus 2x. Now positive 14 is minus 14 is equal to 0. What are you trying to achieve? You are trying to achieve the general form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to what? 0. Always remember the general form. Why are you doing that? So that you can tell yourself, or you can identify my a. Look, how do I find my b? I just cut the x there. We call it the coefficient of x. So I cut it there, take the sign and close. Again on c, I cut there with the sign and close. It helps me find my a. You tell me what is my a from what you're saying. It's not only 3, but it's a positive 3. And what's the b? It's not only 2, but it's negative 2. Be careful with the signs. What's the c? It's not only 14, but it's negative 14. From here, you are in a position then to what? To quote the quadratic formula. Please remember, this is very important. What does it say? X is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. Then you divide everything. What are you dividing by? By 2a. See that? Then you've got x is equal to. So whenever you're solving now this, you're just inputting the values. It's minus bracket. What is your b? Say b is negative 2 plus or minus square root of b squared is minus 2 squared. Remember the bracket. Minus 4, my a is 3 this time. My c is negative 14. Everything in bracket. And then it's all over 2a. And then my a is what? Is 3. Look at the brackets the way I'm doing it. Now this is where students make errors. Students, they'll write it like this. I'll do the error one. Make it in red. They'll say x is equal to minus, well, let's say they put the brackets there. Then they'll say plus or minus square root of minus 2 squared minus 4a c all over 2a. Can you see the errors there? There is the error. Look at minus 2 squared. If you forget this bracket, you are out of the game. Why? Look at this. If I take a calculator here and I say what is minus 2 squared, look what I'm getting. I'm getting a negative 4. But if I put a bracket there, just want to show you the importance of these brackets. Put a bracket there and put a bracket there. Still minus 2 squared with the bracket. Now I get a positive 4. So you see what I mean when I'm saying just be sensitive with your brackets, because the negative sign is actually very, it changes, it changes everything. Now with that, I can then say x is equal to, I can then use my calculator then to simplify this. Remember, it's to 2 decimal places. That's what they said. So it's fraction minus bracket minus 2, and then I've got what? Plus, start with the positive or the negative, whatever I want. Square root of negative 2 squared minus 4. Then I put a bracket is 3. I put a bracket is minus 14. Close, and then everything is all over 2 and 3. So I'm having that equal to, I've got an error. Let me check where the error is. Oh, it's minus 2 there. So I've got that. It was an error there. Equal to, I'm getting this. Remember, it's in decimals. 2 decimals. You can use your own rounding off, which is 2,52, but the calculator can do that for you. Say shift setup. You see where they say 6, that's fix. Then you say how many decimals do you want to fix to? 2 decimal places. Press your SD. It has rounded off 2,52. You can now play back with that 2,52 and then put a negative equal to, and then you've got negative 1,85. So it's 2,52, 52, or x is equal to negative 1,85. That's it. You get your two answers. But now there's something I want to check. How do you prove your answer? You need to prove your answer. I'll bring back the same calculator that I used, but now this is what I want to show you. The simplest. You don't have to think much, you just have to work fast. Look at this. When I put this and say here, remember this is the answer. Let me say shift setup. Let me bring back to normal, which is 8 and 1, and then I bring back SD. It's back to the rounded, the whole number, because if I proved with the rounded off number, it's just going to be wrong. So if I press AC and I press answer equal to, the calculator give me the last answer. So I can come here and say AC and say, what do I have? I have got 3x squared. So but remember, it's my answer, this one, which is equal to that. So I can say 3 answer squared minus 2 answer. It must give me 14 equal to, you see, I'm getting 14, which is my right hand side, because the answer is that one that I'm proving with all the rounded off numbers. If I prove that, it means I am correct. So guys, these are things that can make you work faster and a bit efficient in terms of you finishing everything on time. I hope this makes sense, but let's continue with some of these questions. So this was 4 marks. Now let's look at the next one. 1.3. What is saying? 4 marks again. You are solving for x minus square root of x minus 2 plus x is equal to 2. Again, an interesting question. You don't need to stress. You just have to bring everything as is. What do you have? It's 1.1.3. What I say? Square root of x minus 2 plus x is equal to 2. Is it a difficult thing? Not really, but these are the steps that you need to know. Number 1, the first step that you need to do is you need to ensure that you are remaining with the square root on one side. I repeat again, remember that you remain with the square root either on the left hand side or on the right hand side, meaning take everything that is outside the square root to the other side. So in this case, you can see that I've got plus x. So if I take plus x to the other side, I will only remain with the square root. So the square root then, that's the first step. It will be square root of what? X minus 2 is equal to 2. In this case, it's 2. But what is the positive x becoming after this equal sign? It changes from positive to negative x. I think that's the first step. So what is the second step, guys? The second step is to get rid of the square root. And how do you get rid of the square root? You know, to get rid of the square root is to square. So you square both sides and you square both sides. But if you just do it like this, it is going to be wrong, because you're just making it appear now as if it's 2 minus x squared. To square both sides is introduce brackets and introduce brackets. This is very, very, very important, because what you are now saying is when I put the brackets, the 2 and the x is affected, not only the x. So when you do that, the square root will fall away on the left hand side. Then you'll have x minus 2 is equal to, now there is another error. This is what some of you are always tempted to do. Look at this. When they see that square, they take that square and say this will become 2 squared minus this square is x squared. Be careful, that is wrong, wrong, wrong. Please remember, that is wrong. Scrap it from your mind. Scrap it from your mind. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. What are you supposed to do? Whenever you see this 2 minus x, what it means is the square means there are 2 brackets like this. Yes, I know you are saying, oh, that's what it means. It's 2 minus x and it's 2 minus x. So avoid that temptation. Then you're going to use the FOIL method, whereby you are going to multiply this and multiply that. I know you're saying, is it not the same? It's not the same. You see that this and that. If you say it there, 2 squared minus x squared, you're going to get 4 minus x squared. But this is not what you're going to get on the other side. You will see that. So what we do is now we expand, which is x minus 2 in this case is equal to, then we continue now to say what we have. If we multiply here, it will be 2 times 2, which is 4, 2 times this, which is negative x times 2, which negative 2x. Negative x times 2 is negative 2x. You see that? Negative x times negative x is positive x squared. Now the question is it the same? No. So we have got x minus 2. I don't know whether there was a shorter way there. I'll check it, which is 4 minus 2x minus 2x. Remember, minus 2 minus 2. Take a calculator and use that to get the answer. Don't say it's 0. You know, students making silly errors there. Minus 2 minus 2. You see, it's negative 4. Use the calculator to your benefit. So it's negative 4x plus what? Plus x squared. You see that? Then when you're at this stage, you are in a position, let me erase these are old answers. You're in a position then to continue and say, okay, let me, what do? You have got, look at this, you have got x squared. Now take everything to come, it's up to you how you want to do it. But to me, it's easier if I take these to the other side. Why? Because I've got more on this side. So that at the left hand side now I've got 0 is equal to, but when I'm making them cross, it's collecting the terms. So I've got the 4 here, and then the negative 2 will become plus 2. Do you see that? Minus 2, after jumping, you'll join 4 to become plus 2. I've got minus 4x. The x here is positive, it will become minus x plus what? Plus x squared. This is just me trying to simplify this. 4 plus 2 is 6, minus 4 minus x. Some of you start struggling. What is that? Minus 4x squared? No. Minus 5x squared? No. Take a calculator. You know there is a hidden 1 there. So use the calculator to say, what is minus 4 minus 1? Minus 4 minus 1 is minus 5. So you say minus 5x plus x squared plus x squared. You see that? Now it's fine to do this. Now say therefore, remember the general form. The general form is what? Is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So you can do the same now to rewrite this and say it's x squared. Let me do this. It's x squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to what? 0. Now the a, there is a 1. Where do you go from here? You follow the quadratic formula. Remember that? Yes, there is my a, there is my b, there is my c. Someone is asking, is it necessary? Why don't I just factorize? If you can, go ahead, but the quadratic formula is easy. Remember, it's my x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So look at this. What do I get here? I have got x is equal to, now I can spot my a is 1, b is minus 5. See that? Minus 5 plus or minus square root of minus 5 squared. You see that? Minus 4a is 1, c is 6. When you get comfortable with this, you can actually see the answers over 2 and 1. Now, if I use my calculator here, I will have two values of x. X is equal to, there must be two values. So let's use that on the calculator and see what we are going to get in that case. So if I punch this on the calculator, it will be minus 5, start with the plus, square root of minus 5 squared minus 4, my a is 1, my c is 6, all over, and 2, and my a is 1. That's what you do. And then equal to, I'm getting the first one, x is equal to 3, and then go back here and say minus, and x is equal to 2. So I've got x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 2. Do you rejoice, get happy, and forget everything? No. Go back to the original. Remember, x is equal to 3. or x is equal to 2. So what you do is ask yourself, can I prove this, that x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 2? Test the answers. Come in here, put a 3 here, and see, put a 3 there, then use your calculator and see whether it will balance. So let's do that. It's square root of 3 minus 2, see that, then plus 3 equal to, I'm getting a 4, you see that. Let me try the other one now. We said x is equal to 2, so it's 2 minus 2 and plus 2. Now I'm getting a 2. You see, when I put a 3 here, it will say 4 is equal to 2. So 4 cannot be equal to 2. Therefore, x is equal to 3 is not an answer. But when I put a 2 here, I'm getting 2 minus 2, 0, plus 2. Therefore, I'm getting 2 is equal to 2, which is accurate. So that's how you do to say the answer actually is that. So you come here and say x is not equal to 3, but x is equal to that. They mark those. Guys, I said 30 minutes. My time is up. I know you're looking forward to continue this, but join me in the next lesson where I'm going to continue with this revision session. It's for you grade 11s. Remember to like, to share, and then to also comment. Leave your comments. Tell me if you're benefiting. We're going to look at question 2. We're going to continue looking at question 3. Continue looking at question 4, the graphs. We continue looking at the functions and graphs. All these just to get you ready, you know, all the sequence and series, the quadratic one. It's going to be a benefit for you. We've come to the end of our lesson. Remember to subscribe, turn on that notification bell just to show that you're benefiting. Thank you.